Well, I want to go over a few things how to improve the AR-47 reliability with steel case ammo. Honestly, I haven't tried this out yet, but I was picking up some tips off of the internet, and the best ones I'm going to put out of here real quick. One, the magazines. Now, if you notice up on the top here, you got this groove, and that groove well, it's not this groove, it's this groove and that groove. When these slide out, this lip catches not so much the little groove, but the bigger groove. What you can do, I saw where they took a Dremel and they cut that down. I said, I don't like that. You could weaken it. What you can do, one guy had this out, he had some of these crimping pliers that are for like making hose clamps. See that? They're called A-2000 crimping pliers. And what they do is they fit after your rounds are out of there. You push down the follower and you crimp down this part so it's flat. So when these come out of here, they slide out a lot easier. They don't catch on this part right here. This lip doesn't catch there. Now, I've heard you could put better springs in there and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's really the spring so much, because these springs in here are pretty strong. These are AR Stoner magazines. I heard these are one of the better ones to use. This one's not an AR Stoner, but it's a C Products. This one's another good one. So I got both the right type of magazines, but I'm going to modify about 5 of these, and with this, put that little crimp in there just to take out where the round, when it slides over that, it's not going to catch on the back. Right on the back there, okay? See that little lip right there? That little groove on the end of the round? It catches right there. And it's not usually that much of a problem, but it does allow for smoother feeding if you crimp this down. The perfect tool for that is this. I wouldn't grind it out with a Dremel because it'll make it weaker. Now, another thing, this doesn't have anything to do with making it more reliable, but I put this Confederate flag sticker on there. You could put whatever you want on there. You could put Tweety Bird, you could put a daisy, whatever the hell you want. I mean, I don't know, any flag of any country. I like this flag. I just got these flags from Flaggit stickers. They're just an ordinary sticker, but you think, well, it's going to come right off. Well, I put it on there, chemically cleaned it with some, isopropyl alcohol first. I put it on there, and I put a few coats of this Big Matte Top Coat nail polish. And even when I got a little excess around here, it's a flat clear. It's an acrylic. Nail polish don't come off too easy, so this flag is, it's kind of like dulled it up a little bit when I put this on there. So whatever you want to put on here, you don't have to put a flag like that. But if you want to put a flag like that, they're dirt cheap. You just get some of this Big Matte Top Coat nail polish. You clean this off with isopropyl alcohol. And a whole bunch of these stickers is cheap. And they got all kinds of stickers. So if you want to customize your thing and put something on it, whatever, make it pretty. The other thing is, I put a stronger hammer spring. The silver one on the left is the stronger hammer spring, and this is the standard one. I don't think that's absolutely necessary because this is a Palmetto upper. And Palmetto upper already did the modification to the firing pin so it sticks out a little longer to ignite these harder primers. And some people don't like putting the stronger hammer spring in there because it gives you a harder trigger pull. Well, it doesn't bother me because, I found, if you're using the very tip of your finger, these people with match shooting, it's kind of like weird, man. I mean, to tell you the truth, I shot battalion high shooter in the Marine Corps. I got an award from the colonel and all that garbage, from the battalion commander, right? I don't want to say all that garbage. I shot expert every time. I shot, I would shoot 230s consistently, and I shot a 242, which is, on the range. And That's because I used to shoot a lot, right? But I wasn't shooting any match triggers or special ammo or special slings or, wearing anything special. I was just wearing camis, right? Just a crappy trigger, right? So, I mean, I found if you got a crappy trigger, put a little more oil on it, for one. Number two, tighten up your grip a little more, and you might not want to use that part of your finger. Use the part of your finger near the joint because you got a little more power. So if the trigger is a little harder, you can get around it. It's not a big deal. So I want to show you what the firing pin is in this thing. It's like I'll show you what they did. It's not going to be obvious, but I'll tell you what they did to modify the firing pin. Now, what they did to modify the firing pin should stick out just a hair more. Right there. Just a hair more. Because they cut down the shoulder, so it should put a little bit more of a indentation in these steel-cased ammo rounds. But usually that should be plenty, actually, because Palmetto, this is a PSA thing, it should be all right, it should work. Yeah, it should be out there long enough. So let me take the firing pin out and show you what it is. But combined with the camera spring, it should be enough to ignite the primers. The magazines being C Products or AR Stoner, plus with that little modification over here where, the lip of the round doesn't hit that groove. That should work good too. And I'll show you what the shoulder is. I'll show you what I mean. So what they did, they used a standard firing pin, and they probably, I don't know how many thousandths they took off of this, 10 thousandths or 15 thousandths. So the pin sticks out that much more. It still doesn't, it sticks out a little more, but it still doesn't put any little dings or nothing into the primers at all. So they did it, they know what the hell they're doing. So, it's a standard firing pin, but they moved it, they just, milled this shoulder back a little bit, probably 10 thousandths. So if you get a PSA Palmetto State Armory upper for the 7.62 by 39, you're probably not going to have any problem with it firing, the steel cased ammo. I did add the hammer spring a little stronger just for the hell of it, make sure. And you're probably not going to have any feeding issues with using the right magazines, but I'm going to modify them. The other thing is I didn't get one for this 30 cal chamber size, but I got a chamber honing brush 800 grit for the 223, because I'm going to use the steel case ammo in the 223. I found out, if I recall correctly, I think it cost me 20-something cents a round to reload 223, if I remember correctly. It's probably a little more than that now. The steel-cased ammo for the 7.62 by 39 and even the 223, it's only like 20-something cents a round anyway. So why reload? And the other side of it is, too, I started looking at, I saw the tests where they showed that the steel-cased ammo wore out your barrel faster and all this kind of crap, but it was so cheap that you could buy like 3 barrels for the cost of it wearing out. But the other side of it is this, and this is something that makes a lot of sense. I saw somebody else say, but it makes a lot of sense to me. It's how fast you're shooting the rifle. If you're heating up everything and you're heating up the barrel a lot, yeah, it's going to get worn out with less number of rounds going through it. Maybe it'll get worn out in 4,000 rounds or something. But if you're not shooting rapid fire and you're letting everything cool down and you're keeping everything clean in between going to the range and stuff, it's probably going to last like double, triple, or whatever. It might last 10,000 rounds or something. So, you could use the steel-cased ammo for a lot of shots. I mean, if you're only firing 50, I don't know, say you take two different rifles and you fire 40 shots out of this one, two center fire rifles. You 40 shots out of this one, 40 shots out of a 308 or, or 7.62 by 51 millimeter. And then you fire, a couple hundred 22 long rifle because they're cheap, right? Well, 40 shots, I don't know, say you want it every week. That's only 2,000 rounds. And if you're not, it would take you years to wear out that barrel. Considering that, if you're only using that weapon. So it's like, if you're firing rapid, it wears everything out real quick. That's really what it comes down to. So a lot of times these tests, it's like saying a car's got 20,000 miles on it and I wore it out. Well, yeah, you're taking to the drag strip every week, you're flooring it but if you baby it, just like the rifle, you don't freaking, really pump a lot of rounds through it really fast all the time. I say maybe once in a while you do 2 or 3 quick or something, but you let things cool down, give it a rest, and you switch to another rifle, do some other stuff. Hey, it ain't gonna wear out that fast. But this tool is pretty cool. I got it on eBay. I don't know what the hell the brand is. It's the hell's that say? Murray or something like that. But it's A-2000. Murray Keystone. It's made in China too, but it looks like it's pretty solid. It's for crimping like hose clamps and stuff. And I was able to, but I don't want to do too many of these mags with this right now. I'm probably going to do about 5, but it does make sense. It's not screwing up the lips. It's just taking out. I noticed when I pushed the round out with the modified magazine, it doesn't catch on this groove right here. It catches that one a little bit, but it really catches that one. But when it's crimped down like that, it works great. And I like it. I'd rather crimp it down than take a Dremel and grind out that groove. To me, that's you're taking out metal. This, you're just shaping the metal, so it's still should be plenty strong. So, and I'm gonna get the chamber honing brush for this thing, because if the steel case ammo starts, I heard it's not really the polymer that's really causing a problem. It's like the unburned powders. The steel case ammo doesn't quite expand in there as much as the brass. So you might have unburned powders that get in the chamber, and then the heat, really melts those unburned powders in the chamber. But, an 800 grit chamber brush, and I'm not going to use milling oil. I'm just going to use transmission fluid, because that's great freaking stuff for freaking milling. To clean it out every once in a while. So I'll be able to run this thing very cheap. That's what you want to do. Because I don't feel like reloading anymore. That shit's a pain in the ass, to tell you the truth, I used to put out like 500 or 1,000 pieces of brass, and I'd tumble them, I'd do the primers. It was like, it just takes too much time. It's easier just to freaking take this Russian stuff. And a tool oil would work, wolf ammo would work, whatever. I got some other one, bear or something like that, brown bear. They would all work if you got the rifle set up right, and it's not going to wear it out. It's not going to hurt the extractor. It's not. And if you really went balls to the wall, you can get one of those super reliable bolts or whatever the hell it is, Nikon boron. But by the time you need to start changing the bolt, not the whole bolt carrier, but just the bolt itself and the firing pin, you're probably going to need a barrel. But like I said, if you're not heating things up too much, everything lasts a real long time. I have the Colt 1911 45. I used to love shooting that pistol a lot, and I used to shoot the 230 grain hard lead. And I put, the large pistol primers, non-magnum, with 4.9 grains of Winchester 231 powder with the hard lead round nose. And if you shoot, that's not really a high load. And a hard lead round nose with the gas check seal on it doesn't really, it wears out the barrel less than even the copper jacket. Like these wear out the barrel slightly more than, because they're partly steel, but they're not, they're still, it's heat that really wears it out. And just as a side note, you can even take hard cast lead and put it in a 308 rifle. Just don't load it up real hot. It'll work. That stupid thing will just, you can make barrels last like way more than 10,000 rounds easy, as long as you don't heat up everything real fast. So the steel cased ammo should work. I think what I'm doing here, maybe when I get the chamber home, I'll just do the chamber a little bit with this. I got one for the 223 coming. But with all this stuff, I don't think I'm going to have a problem running any steel cased ammo. I think it's going to be pretty close to 100% reliable. Pretty close to that. So, like I said, the Palmetto already has the firing pin fixed up. They already got the right kind of, they already did the chamber the right way and stuff. It's got enough room in there. Honing it might be better. They got a good bulk. It's a decent bulk carrier group. It's not bad. You got, adding a hammer spring, I don't think I have any problems, because you're really not going to have any problems with the modified firing pin. You're not going to have any problems setting off the hard primers, especially when adding the firing pin plus having a firing pin plus the hammer, the higher, stronger hammer spring. And I got the right magazines, and I'm using this little modification to smooth this out right here so its feeds real smooth. So I'd rather run the cheap stuff, because I'm cheap, okay? You should be too. Why waste your money, right?